With ISL Online, you can access and control any distant computer or mobile device. Sign up now and start supporting your customers.
You're watching Tech Talk, brought to you by Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live Mondays at 8 p.m. London time, and we will be streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can listen to our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, TuneIn, Player FM, and others. And now, here's tonight's show.
Well, hello. Welcome to Tech Talk. This is a live show where we help your IT business grow. And I've got a nice big QR code on the face at the moment, so let me just get that off of there. Okay, that's better. No, it's not. I've still got a QR code on my face. I'll sort it out in a few minutes. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Target Open Day. We've got the managing director at Target, as well as Scott, who's in the marketing executive, if I'm right. Show. Yeah, I got it right there. I was going to call you a lackey, but I'm not sure it'll do too well. So, if anyone is watching tonight, hopefully there's a few of you. Feel free to comment, and obviously we'll address any questions you've got about the open day. I think it's in a couple of weeks' time, 20th of September, if I'm right. But before we do that, we've got to do one thing first, because this show is brought to you.
You can access and control any distant computer or mobile device. Sign up now and start supporting your customers.
There you go. So thank you, ISL, for sponsoring us. Right, let me get rid of the screen organisation so we can see what we're doing.
You organised it too much.
Yeah, exactly. I've got the QR code right there. We'll have to figure out how to move that one around in a few minutes. So, right, okay. So let's get back on with the show. So, Michael, if you want to introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are, what you do, and I don't know, anything else you think was relevant at this time?
I'll start the karaoke, Phil. Good evening, everybody. Michael Lawrence, the Managing Director at Target. And I think this is my third Tech for Tech show live on a Thursday night. So my hat-trick appearance. It's always a pleasure to be here. Yeah, looking forward to our event on the 20th of September. Hoping that Scott's going to do most of the selling, but hoping that we can maybe convince a few more people to join. And for those that have already registered, just to tell you some of the exciting things to look forward to, and possibly talk about some of the more exciting things that are happening at Target at the moment while we're here.
Okay, let me just address the chat. So, is it just my audio what's choppy, everyone, or is it everyone who's choppy? If you can let me know. Obviously, I know there's a bit of a delay, but if you can obviously let us know if I'm sounding choppy as well. Would be a good idea to find out. Oh, well, everyone's letting us know. If you want to introduce yourself, let everyone know what you do and who you are.
Hi everybody, I'm Scott Franklin. I am marketing executive at Target. Part of my job is to help organise the open day. We run all the marketing in Target, going to Target, so all the emails that comes through the marketing department. And I'm happy to talk to everybody about the open day and wait to be there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Is it just Phil's microphone, or do I sound bad too?
Okay, yeah. Well, it should be both of them if it's the case, because they're both joined together. But again, I've just changed some settings. Let us know if anything's any better or not. Basics is tonight, so I've got echo on Scott now. So who knows? Who knows? Scott is on the echo now, so it's one way or another. So I'll try and alter a few things and go from there. But first of all, I'll let you guys carry on, Scott, and talk about the event. If obviously tell everyone all about when it is, what's happening, what you've got going on, and I'll try and fix the sound issue.
It sounds like I'm loud and clear, according to Dan.
You and I can chat, Jenny.
Yeah, just two of you.
Yes, Hawk.
So, there we go. Right, so I'm going to play back with our sound settings this end. So if I just disappear for a few seconds, just carry on with that. So
We can just chat away,
yeah,
the three of us.
there you go. So Jenny, yours is okay. Scott is echoing. Oh, that's weird. Okay, that's all right. So Scott and Michael, it's your show now. Tell me that's it, and I'm going to see if I can fix my sound.
Do you want to lead off, Scott?
Okay. Well, I know there's going to be a lot of people on here who have been, or at least know of the open day anyway. But for those of you who don't, our open day, I think we started this around about 16 years ago, for our 10th anniversary. It started and still is very much our way of welcoming all of our customers, that because we're a remote company, we work largely off a website and the phones. We very rarely get to meet the people that we talk to all the time. And the open day is our way of welcoming everybody. It's an open house. Anybody, any of our customers is welcome to come along, come and find out about what we do, come and see some of the products that you largely see just on websites normally, come and talk to the manufacturers that also rarely get to speak to the people face to face about their products and kind of demonstrate them to them. But it's also a great opportunity for us to deliver some extra value, which is why we've always kind of promoted the idea of providing business and product advice to anybody who's attending as well. So, you know, over the years, we've had everybody from Microsoft and Intel doing workshops, but we've also had people from the police force. We've had various other experts who very nicely give up their time and come and talk to our customers free of charge, providing valuable advice that, to be perfectly honest with you, we've had from feedback from customers in the past, they find it very difficult to get elsewhere. So that, in a nutshell, is the open day. Of course, there's also the other side of the open day, which is it's just a really good chance for everybody to get together. The Target community generally is amazing. We do it year after year because it's just great how good and how well everybody gets on together. And we have a bit of a celebration in the evening. Sometimes that can be evening into morning, sometimes just straight through the morning into the next lunch.
Okay, sounds pretty good. Just a quick check. How do I sound now, everyone? Just let me know if I sound okay or not. Right, okay. So has anyone got any questions for these guys? We'll go through the chat and go through all the questions. I've got somewhat a few people have sent me before the show. So let's quickly go through. So I'm just going to go through the comments. So we've got Gadget Joe saying, evening all. Obviously he's talking about Scott being the handsome guy. Well, actually I'm on the bottom now, so I'm the handsome guy, Gadget Joe. I've moved this screen around. So there we go. Sound issues, again, if I sound okay now, let us know. If not, Jen can do all the talking for the rest of the night, and I'll have a day off or night off. So we've got Rayleigh Computer Shop saying hi as well. Gadget Joe's doing a lot of talk about the reverb. Yeah. Sorry to hear, Welshie. Wishing you all the best. Oh, yeah, I'm just getting that. Welshie Tech's not going to be able to make it, unfortunately. That's a shame, Welshie.
Sorry. Sorry to hear about that.
Don't worry, you can deal with us instead of Gadget Joe. So that's good. So, right, has anyone got any questions then?
I do. One was submitted through me.
Okay.
It said, what kind of talks can I expect?
Right, you're ready. So we've got, it's really important to us because we have so many different types of customers that we provide the stuff that they can't get elsewhere. So we have a fair mix of, business advice, advice to people and presentations from people who are experts in their field who will come talk to you about how you can make the most out of your business. We equally have a number of talks from manufacturers. We've got Lenovo attending for the first time ever this year. And they're going to come and have a talk to everybody. They're genuinely excited. I think they've had some things going on at head office there, so they're engaging a lot more with the indies, I think, and they want to speak to more of them. So come and have your say with them. But then we also we know that there's a lot of you guys are the bastions of your business. You are the face of your business, and we know that that's not easy for everybody. So a bit of coaching on how to be a little bit more confident and how to go and speak to people and get the best out of it. We've got some people coming and doing some talks on that. It's kind of personal marketing as opposed to business marketing, I suppose. So those are the ones that we've got this year. That I think we've got a few more to announce, but we have published the workshops timetable today on the Open Day website.
Well, that's neat that you have a workshop that helps you communicate better, because I do find a lot especially in our sector, we are either good at communicating on the sales floor, or we are good at building and repairing, but not both a lot of times. And usually there's going to be that one time when the one that does all the repairs has to step out of their comfort zone and speak to the customer, and they need to be able to be confident enough to do so. So I think that's a good workshop for them to.
It's important that we provide things. We could put workshops on about anything, but the whole point, we know people are taking the day out of the business. We know they're traveling, we're putting in the time to come see us. So our biggest concern is that anything we do has got to be valuable to you guys. So we've got, for example, this year that you'll see on there, we have some cybercrime. So these are escape rooms. They're not actually escape rooms, they are digital escape rooms. And it's puzzles and things like that help you solve a mystery. But what it does, it's brilliantly put together. It is something that is entirely transferable to your customers. You can do training on with your customers after this, about just how to stay safe online. If you've got a suspicion that something you've received in an email isn't right, how you can make really quick checks. Michael and I have both done this. The guys that came in to do it from West Yorkshire Police were brilliant. And they came, we did it, didn't we, Michael? And it was, I learned loads from it. We're on the internet all day, every day, thinking that you know everything, and you really don't. So, but these escape rooms, you can actually the whole principle of it, you can actually go and talk to your own customers about as well.
I think in our industry, people expect us to be the all-knowing of everything that goes on the internet, but we're not. We're probably the more cautious, or more paranoid even, of things, that don't look right. But there's still times when things will get to us. Everyone has fallen for that email that came through that looked like it was from a supplier that they use, and I won't name any of them out there. But and you're in a hurry to check all of your emails because you've got a lot going on that day, and you click on the wrong thing, and then there it goes. And it's easy done, even for the most vigilant of us.
Yeah, I'm going to say there's a lot of them around. Even for example, I'm guessing Welshy Tech and Gadget Joe are in chat. Will get a lot. I know I do, where it's basically these suspicious-looking emails which are asking you to review products and stuff like that. They look pretty genuine, and suddenly you're thinking, hey, why is that big company wanting me to review a Tesla when I've only got 1,000 subscribers or whatever it is? It's like, probably not necessarily true, but yeah, you get it on all types of businesses.
That come in like that for us, if they start out in a certain typeface, and then they go to the big cyan colors and things like that, and you notice it's a Gmail address. I just, yeah.
The problem is that those now, you've got some really, really good. There's some people out there who are doing they're almost indistinguishable from from proper emails. But I genuinely think, and this has all come out of, the reason we started looking and speaking to the police about whether they could do something was because we've seen it on Tech for Techs, we've seen it on the target user group before. People are saying, you get the more sinister stuff like, well, I've found somebody's brought in a laptop and I found some pictures. What do I do about it? Well, you guys are not in a position where you can offer that kind of advice, are you? It's a lot to take on as individuals, but if you've got something where the police can actually tell you what you should be doing in those situations, you guys know it takes all that pain out.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
I was going to say power cut.
I obviously hadn't moved enough, so it just turned the light out on me.
I thought you were in the escape room.
There we go.
I think just on the workshops, we've spent a ridiculous amount of time preparing workshops, and what we try to get is to access information that possibly some of the independent customers are unable to get to for themselves, leveraging some of our contacts and networks. And the focus of the day really is to try and add value, to say, actually, a day out of my business isn't necessarily time wasted. It's not just about, yes, we have some fun, but actually there's a lot of informative things that we can provide beyond an expo. And I think it's fair to say that we'll put on sort of whatever seminars that people ask for. So we're running a workshop all about, is it the right time to exit your business? And we're going to do it in the old style that I think Paul used to run it, where it was very much like a business brainstorming. I think I'm not sure how to use that vernacular anymore, but it still works for me. But basically just get people in the room and have an open conversation about some of the options that are open, some of the ideas, some things that have worked for some people, and just some things to consider. And it sounds counterintuitive to invite some of your best customers to your event and then to try and help them to potentially no longer be customers. But we received quite a lot of feedback that said, actually, this is the content that people want. And I think it's really important. I think we're privileged to have so many people that are willing to give up time to come and spend some time with us. And our responsibility is to make that as effective as possible. So that's one of the sessions that I'm going to be running. But it's very much a group think session, as opposed to, I don't have a presentation that says, if you meet these formula, now's the time to go, sadly.
Okay. That sounds pretty good. I'm going to say definitely a few interesting ones I want to take a look at there. So definitely that's one of them. Who was that other one I saw on there? Stop giving well,
yes.
On what I was thought, oh, that looks interesting.
So yes, this is it's a lady called Kaz from a company called Quirk, who they're kind of personal branding marketing people. But what she's somewhere between a coach and somebody who will help you promote your business through you. So the title of that workshop is based around how you learn not to worry about what people think, because what you're doing is right. Because if you've got it, if you know what you want to do, your passion will overcome all of those things.
Yeah. I've got a saying, that which does not truly matter, let it slide.
Yeah.
So that's my words for the
But sometimes it's more difficult to put into practice than it is to say out loud for some people. Like, people can be very self-critical.
Yeah, definitely there.
I'm self-critical.
Yeah. Right, let's go to the chat saying, let's have a look. So we got Dan, he's a bit biased considering he works for Target, but he says, I will vouch for the escape room, very informative, very fun, helped by being the winning team. I don't know.
This might be a sore point.
Yeah. Absolutely shameless.
I'm going to say, I'm going to say, Dan, I'm surprised you find that a Friday night's not like an escape room with all the Guinness you have to drink and trying to get out of the pub afterwards. But
and yet every Monday morning he makes it.
Somehow, I don't know how he does it. There we go. So let's have a look. Following on for the question I posted in the group. So Alfred Tech Repairs posted a question about the other day about sales and return, and basically he's asking, do Target offer sales and return just about stocking items, whether it be laptops, PCs, etc.?
Yeah, so we do, because I signed with one off this morning, so we definitely do. We don't do it on everything, because in some cases it's just not commercially viable for us to do it on everything. I think Alfred, is that Ryan, I think, who's a fairly new customer to Target. So it's something that we will consider, but it's very much on sort of a case-by-case basis. It's easier for us to offer it on our exclusive brands. So if you're talking PCs, if there was a deal to be done on Logix, if we had some things around Pixel monitors on Marvo, then there's opportunities for us. We do have a number of those deals that we've done with our customers. But on certain items, it just isn't viable. So the best thing to do is to have a conversation with your account manager, and talk about what it is that you need, and then it'll be either myself or Vicky that'll be able to agree that. So, but yeah, we would consider it.
I think he was just wanting to stock his store up with a load of 4090 graphics cards.
Oh, yes, 4090 graphics cards, abundance of them.
Yeah. Demo versions, probably. Let's have a look. So,
I mean, if I'm right, and it is Ryan. I'm around tomorrow. I think your account manager's on holiday, actually, if I'm right. So if you want to drop me a line, and I can have a chat to you tomorrow, it's no problem.
There we go. That's pretty good. Gadget Joe saying get an average of 15 to 20 review emails from dodgy companies and links every week. Some of them are very, very convincing. And while I'm talking as well, chat, let me know if I sound any better or not. Next, we got PC Guy saying, evening all. Sorry I'm late. I am a few minutes behind on the chat, so I'm just trying to catch up now.
Hi, Jay.
So let's have a look. Next, we got William saying, evening all, from William at Build IT. So we've got that. Are you coming on the 20th, William? I don't know if he's... no, he's not? Okay.
He's got his big anniversary coming up. So I think he might be a bit busy with his own celebrations and an event.
I don't think that's an excuse.
No, I don't. I think it's a cop-out.
It's pretty weak.
For all of our famous influencers out there and here, who all's going to be at the Target Open Day? Who all's coming?
Does anyone else hear a squealing noise?
It's Scott's stomach.
I do.
I don't know if it's something in the background here or if it's on here. It's a strange one. Okay, not to worry. We'll carry on anyway. If anyone in the chat can hear it, let us know. But
somebody might be hoovering next door.
You never know. It just suddenly come from nowhere. Let's have a look. So, Welshie Tech says he's going to meet at TechMax. So, sorry. Welshie Tech says, I think I met you at TechMax to Dan. So that's good. And it is Ryan, as we said. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Have you got any more preset questions, Jen?
Let's see here. So I've covered the talks. Oh, there was another one that was sent in. How can my business benefit from going to Open Day?
Right. So
get him, Scott.
So your business, well, you and your business are going to be better informed afterwards. The big one, and we hear this year after year after year, it's the ideas. It's people talking to each other. Most of you are not competing with each other at all, so why would you not share ideas? It happens on Tech for Techs all the time. It happens. It's all about that. We've got a community of resellers who are from all walks of life, all different places, and the amount of stuff that we, even as the distributor, get out of it. I mean, we've got Prevo, our accessories brand, effectively came out of conversations we had at Open Days. The fact that we've got Marvo, that came out of conversations we had on Open Days because people wanted gaming stuff, but they couldn't make any money out of it. Pixel, to a degree, came out of conversations with customers at Open Days as well. So not only do you guys get the benefit of like immediate ideas that you can then just go and take home with you and put into practice the next week, you've given us ideas that help you hopefully long term as well.
Okay, sounds pretty good. I think he answers that one. You got any more on your list? I've got a few on mine.
Just to add to that, we being very honest, before last year's event, we actually said, do you know what, we'll do this event, but it's an incredible amount of work. I think Target probably has less people working on it than I know you guys run an event with sort of the two of you, but it's, as you know, it's an insane amount of work. Before last year's event, we actually had a conversation, said we'll probably take a break after this one. And the event was so positive and the feedback was so positive, and it's comments like, I've got so many ideas I can take back to my business. And it's not even necessarily, to Scott's point, it's not necessarily from the things that we're doing, it's from the interaction and engagement between like-minded people. And the reason for bringing back the sort of business brainstorming style session is to say, actually, the best ideas won't come from Target. They'll come from the sort of the energy of the group coming together. And at last year's event, at about sort of 9-10 o'clock in the evening, I think Vicky and Scott and I were sat together, and we basically said, right, get ready for next year. We'll have to do it again. We have no choice. There's no, forget about the review meeting next week to decide what went when and didn't go well. It was just too good. So perhaps go into this year with the same mindset. But I think the biggest thing for us is our business wins when our customers' business wins. It's just so natural. And I think that when the event stops adding value and people stop coming, then actually we'll stop running, or we'll try something different. But as long as people keep coming and keep passing on the really positive vibes, it makes sense to keep doing it.
You know, when we had our store, I always attended the open day. I still do, except for this one, I won't be able to.
But I'll be there.
Yeah, but I'm talking about me right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, what about you?
Anyway, when we had our store, we would go to open day. And what we would do is take a notebook and pencil each, and I would come home with a purse full of business cards of the contacts I had made, which were invaluable. And we would have notes, and we would be on, I guess the way you would explain it is a high to get back to the store and implement what we had learned in the talks.
Mm-hmm.
And we were really buzzing. We were always buzzing when we would go to the open day. And we wanted to get back, come Monday, open up the store, and let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. There's always something that we took away that we just couldn't wait to implement or try. And many things you would have on a notebook that, you know, you've taken notes. Back when John would offer his hotel inspector critiquing and things like that. And it's just invaluable, the like you say, the brainstorming, the energy in the groups. You'll have like the guy next to you being over there telling you, you could do this, and this is how it's working for me. And I tried this, but it didn't work. And you're thinking, well, that's problem solved right there that I've been needing to get done. So, like you said, things like the business brainstorming are invaluable talks to go to, and I would encourage everyone to try and attend those.
Yeah, there's a reason why we've been to every single one. I think the top was the first ones we ever went to. I think they were, as a trade show. So yeah, definitely picked up a lot over the years. That's for sure. That's humming noise has started again. Yeah, it does. So anyway, leading on from what Michael was saying a few seconds ago, I've got a question here. Actually, is how has the open day evolved over the years? And why is this year any different than the past?
Did you want to go? Or
go on.
So yeah, it has. It's massively, but everything's evolved anyway. It's like what the services you guys offer has evolved. The technology's evolved. The open days had to evolve with it. People have got different issues to what they had in their businesses to what they had 10 years ago, even. So, you know, you've got the advent of sort of Amazon taking over. So we've got one of the guys that's coming this year is from a company called We Take Flight, and so they are e-commerce consultants really, but they major on Shopify, but they deal with all the different platforms. They're coming out to give free advice on like how to quickly, you know, make your e-commerce platform work better for you, makes you sell more. So there's things like that 10 years ago we wouldn't really probably have needed so much.
Okay.
There are new brands this year that we've never had previously. We've launched sort of 3. I don't know how many we've officially launched yet, but there's sort of 3 or 4 new brands to Target that'll be displaying for the first time this year. We mentioned Lenovo earlier, who obviously worked with for a long time, but I think it's the first time they're featured at an event. So there's so many vendor conversations, which opens up possibilities. And I think the other thing that we have to do to evolve is so cybercrime is the feature sort of a part of the workshops, because at the minute it's probably the number one sort of within our sort of the wider community. Probably AI or probably cybercrime are probably the two most sort of on vogue trends at the moment. So we've got to address that in terms of what we speak. There is I mean, Paul and Sonia will be at the event as well. It's always worth a name drop, because some people might come just to share a beer with Paul or buy him one. But I think that what's evolved for us, what hasn't changed for us, is the sort of entertainment side and the fact that we have there's a bit of fun. I mean, the karaoke is exceptional. Even when I get up and murder it, it's I think the Target, one of the things that people were concerned about when I joined Target and Paul sort of stepped aside was, will it not be as fun? Will the bar not be as free, and will it not be as open as it was? But it's still all those things, Scott, right?
Yes, definitely, boss.
I'm going to address the chat. Richard Creedy was saying that he remembers when open day was at the warehouse. I remember those tents too. The first one I went to, it was a rainy day, and someone was having concern that the tent might leak where the seam was. There was two tents joining together, and there was concern that there might be a leak there, and someone was standing around on guard to make sure that the tent didn't leak. And I will never forget that. That was so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely a few things, even that when those gadgets started coming out, like robots,
The
cleaners,
little cars
and cars
going
and stuff.
around and everything.
Everyone was tripping over them as they were trying to go into one room to another. So,
And it was things like that you made you think, oh God, thank goodness we've evolved from that. Those were fun times.
Yeah.
It was. That's what made it fun.
You have more
was
fun
like
getting
that.
there sometimes than actually being there.
It was like a National Lampoon's Open Day.
Don't get me wrong, they weren't that bad. They were good though.
It was good. It was good because you'd sit there once you got settled in the talk room, and you'd discuss what you had tripped over coming through the door, and how the tents come together, and we're held up, and they need to tape that down. All those Roman eggs.
Right, let me go through the chat and get caught up before we get lost, because there's quite a few bits and bobs there. So let's have a look. So it was Ryan at Elford Tech. So Richard said he was having issues. He swapped over to YouTube. So okay, hopefully my sound's a bit better now. So William saying he can't make it. It clashes with his own 4th birthday. I always thought you were a bit older than 4 years old, to be honest with you. And he's got a new kitten, so I'm not sleeping either at the moment. So there you go. So that's good. So I've got no squeaking or something. I'm not sure. I've missed what that was about.
It's talking about, you were asking, could they hear the squeaking?
Oh, right, yeah. So we're that far behind on chat, right? Let's fly through it. So no sound in the background. Yeah, okay, I've got that. Let's have a look. So Richard saying you get to meet, you've already commented on that one, haven't you?
Yeah,
And there's
so
a meal.
I've caught you up there.
Yeah, so that's good. Dan's sorting out Welshie Tech with some comments or something. Mark saying great event. As Scott says, great to network with others for ideas and of course see products you may not necessarily stock at present. I must admit, on all the events we go to, and there's nothing against the vendors or what's being showed off, I always get more out of the networking with the other not necessarily vendors, but the other techs and so forth, than I would actually the actual product. Don't get me wrong, the products and everything is a bonus, but the networking, I always found there's always something you bring away from that, seeing how other people do things.
I will say this, as for the products. The products draw me in to talk to the people who are the vendors behind them. So they have their place things like this, they draw me to want to talk to, like, say, for instance, Kingston or someone like that. They might have some flashy memory up there, and I go, "Ooh, that's nice." And yeah, it draws me to want to talk to them, and therefore form a relationship. So yeah, that's good.
So
Sorry, I've just thinking about that actually. So Kingston are headline sponsoring the day because over the years, I mean, they're one of our sort of longest relationships we've had with the manufacturer. But they, along with Antec, I see Lee's on here as well. Hi, Lee.
yeah,
Along with Antec, Gigabyte, have been integral to sort of our last year really because as a lot of you will have seen, Logix has launched, which is a PC brand, but it is aimed much more kind of squarely for resellers to get into different sectors, so into the kind of business, education. It does all types, but the important bit being that it's an alternative to the big boys that are out there, so your Dells and your HPs. But we couldn't have done that without having those relationships and the support from, you know, the Antecs, the Gigabytes, the Kingstons. And these relationships have developed over the past, 15, 20 years. And now it's kind of paying dividends because it helps you guys out as well. Kingston is a 40, I can't remember how much was it. I think it's about £4 billion a year American company that will go out of their way to come and speak to a small independent reseller in Chesterfield, for example.
Speaking of relationships formed at Open Day, and Gigabyte, I met Hits from Gigabyte at an Open Day.
that was a good few years ago now. Yeah,
And Hits has gone on to Origin now, and he's had stops along the way. But that tells you he was one of the first people to give us something to review on Tech for Text. As a matter of fact, his was the second product that we reviewed on Tech for Text
more than the
when
case.
we first started out. So yeah, relationships invaluable when you go to places like this. I'm sure that all of the other influencers out there will agree that you can meet lots and lots and lots of great contacts out there just by showing up and saying hi.
And it's how Tech for Text was formed, really, is by not only the awards we've won, but also attending these open days. Because some of these open days, well, the first off award we got was a Target one, if I remember right, wasn't it? Or was it PCR? I can't remember.
We got a PCR first.
It was the same year, though, wasn't it?
And we got a Target Shop Talk award the next year.
Yeah. So, but that's how we got to meet all the vendors and distributors and so forth when we had our retail store and so forth. So, yeah. Right, let's quickly go through the chat. Still catching up. Right, so from William, he's saying the event days are the best ways to interact with your customers and for the customers to understand the disties and how they operate. I really enjoyed seeing each distie singly, but at a bigger event, it gives a distie a much broader feedback. Okay, so there we go. That's from William. Rich is saying it used to be outside a warehouse. I think we covered that one as well. Again, we've already said hi to Antec, but Antec's saying... So there we go. So Antec's launching a number of new products to the UK market at the Open Day event. And if you're wanting to say what they are, Antec, feel free. I'm presuming it's Lee.
I'll do it for him if you want.
Well, there we go.
There's some really...
As long as it's not under an NDA that you shouldn't be saying.
No, you're all right. So there's some very, very nice new cases out there, Constellation series. I think it's the C5 and the C8, but there's some really nice wooden looking ones. They have little wooden panels down the side and everything. They look really, really nice. There's the I think it's a trend we're probably going to see a little bit now, is the kind of mix of the technology and the kind of organic, natural. So I think Antec are pretty good at getting ahead of the game here.
Look, the wooden effect, it reminds me of a retro look. My dad used to have a stereo. Now this is in the 70s. And this is when a stereo was part of the furniture of the room. It was in a big wooden cabinet that closed. And it was a big, wooden thing in the room. And no one could have stolen it because they'd have had to have had a forklift to have gotten the thing out the door. And inside had a record player, and you had your radio, you had an 8-track. I'm going way back. And some people even had an ice bucket in theirs for like champagnes and stuff like that. We weren't that well off. We just had the basics. So it reminds me, these wooden effect cases, of the old stereos and stuff that we used to have back in the day, as we say.
With a modern twist.
Yeah, with a modern twist.
I must admit, from what I've seen of the Antec stuff, I'll be looking to have a look at them at the open day. But the stuff in the last year definitely does seem to be, well, I won't say a lot better, but they're definitely standing out.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Nothing wrong with them before, but there just seems, I don't know, there just seems something about the products that just seem to be popping at the moment.
For those that would have to have their computer in their living room, and they wouldn't want the computery RGB look and stuff like that, the wooden thing is a good thing to let it fit in without standing out and being a center of attention. So the missus won't come downstairs and, oh, I hate this computer being in the middle of it.
It looks
you can
good.
always do stuff like that.
Right, let's quickly go back to chat because we're still 10 minutes behind on the chat from where we are. So William's saying send a karaoke version of the video of the night. So you can probably basically take the mickey out of everyone. Question for Scott and Mike. Will you be doing any kinds of live streams on the day?
We don't have anything planned, and this is purely down to we just don't have the resources to do it, unfortunately. We've always... The workshops particularly, we've always said that the people that should be getting them are the people that are prepared, that come along to it. If there was some way of us doing it on the day, of course, we would like to. But what I can try to do afterwards is if any of the presenters are able to provide resources, even if it's contact details or anything, we'll publish those on the website after the open day.
Yeah, I know the logistics of trying to do live streaming or whatever. It's a nightmare.
It's temperamental at best because
it's just if something goes wrong, it's disruptive for everybody who's in the room, isn't it? So
exactly.
It's that kind of.
It's irritating for you, and if you're someone like me and Phil who's presenting it, it makes us feel like we're unprofessional. It makes us irritated. And we're just sitting over there going, oh, it couldn't have happened at a worse time. And it's not even our fault that the internet's crappy. So it's just a lot of
there's a lot to go in, and then you'd have to set it up for every room and stuff. Exactly. Right, let's go on to the next one. So we've got Michael saying, do Target and vendors tend to have any point of sales, display materials available on the day? I'm looking to convert my front office into a small retail display area, so anything I can get my hands on will be appreciated.
Yes. We know it's one of those things that everybody every year wants point of sale. So we've specifically asked vendors this year to make sure that is all available. We've just had a load of stuff from Seagate arrive today. I know I'm sure Lee at Antec will be bringing stuff like he always does. But yeah, there will be point of sale there. We're even going to have some point of sale for our exclusive brands as well, like Logix and Pixel. So we are in the process of getting some of this manufacturers at the minute as well. Some of it might not be available, but for the open day itself, but it's coming anyway.
Okay, sounds pretty good. Elford Tech saying, it's to Mike. Michael, can you basically email him regarding returns?
Look at that service.
Let's have a look. So Gadget Joe's talking about Antec products. Here we go. We're slowly getting caught up. Where does everyone go for personalised pens that you give away? That's a off-field question.
I go to Scott for mine.
Yeah, he gets them from me. I get them from. I would go. The best ones, the stuff that we've had made, are the people that we've had made by people we know. So one was a contact that Michael had years and years ago, who's actually in Chesterfield as well. He's been brilliant, Richard. It's mypdm.com is the website. Great. They do loads and loads of stuff. He'll help you work to a budget as well.
That's good to know. I had just had some made up of my own because Phil keeps pinching my pens and denying he'll deny that it's his, that mine. Well, I've got my name put on them now. It says Jennifer Griffiths, Managing Director, Tech for Text. And so if it goes amiss now, I know it's my ink pen. And I can also give them to people and things like that.
There we go. I've put a link for them in chat. They're actually the guys that we've been talking to regarding other things.
Oh, cool.
That same company. But yeah. So, but
Good
there we
guys.
go. That's something for another conversation. But there we go. So next up, we've got. Let's have a look. Okay, Gadget Joe says he's going to record everyone singing from multiple different angles, so that's going to be interesting. So all over Facebook and YouTube the next day.
I asked Scott earlier, Phil, who we thought would be first up on the karaoke, and I didn't think Gadget Joe would be volunteering himself this way this evening. But
It sounds like he's just said I'd do whatever song you tell me to do.
I said, Michael, you let me get up before Michael. I think that said. That's what I interpreted.
And I think you guys should get to pick a song for him to sing as well.
I can just picture Gadget Joe singing "I Want to Break Free."
I was thinking I will survive.
In the outfit.
Yeah.
Joe, I'll bring the vacuum cleaner, don't worry.
There we go. I think this is going to be an interesting open day. There we go.
I'm sorry, I'm missing it.
Yeah, Dan says he's not getting up on stage then. So after that, let's have a look and let's hope Joe doesn't get up and sing. It sounds like Welshie Tech knows what Joe's singing's like, apparently. So
Maybe
here we
Sonia
go.
will sing.
You never know. Right, I think we've pretty much caught up with chat. There we go. Right, okay, let me have a look at my notes. Right.
That used to be the ongoing joke about Sonia singing.
Okay. If you was to pick one item from this year's open day that everyone must see or take part in, what is it?
I don't mind it. I'd go straight to the Logix stand, and I'd go straight. Genuinely, I would. The opportunities with Logix are going to be massive, I think, and we're working really, really hard to kind of get you guys convinced that it's going to be the way forward. It's PCs you can actually make money from selling into businesses rather than letting Dell and HP take all of it off you.
Okay, sounds pretty good. And I've also got, what kind of opportunities does the open day present for that's pretty much what everything you've covered that one into. Next one was let's have a look. Yeah, how do you support resellers in staying competitive in the current market against the A word? You knew it would come in, Michael.
I think someone's trying to wire me up. So the exclusive brands that Target offer represent an opportunity for resellers to make significant margin. And if you look at the different offerings across the range, so Pixel as a monitor brand will compete against some of the best price units on Amazon. And it's a model that's built for resellers in mind. I think that the thing that probably differentiates Target is that when we run an open day, when we launch products and when we work with brands, we do it with a view to what will make our customers more successful. Our Prevo brand, which is accessories, the whole brand identity is based around ready to sell, retail packaged, visual, store ready tech, plug and play tech. You can take a standard Prevo, put it inside your shop, and it's the things that your customers will need day to day that will sell. And as we continue this year, we've developed more into the Pixel range, more into the Prevo range. So whilst those brands people will be familiar with, there are new product examples in there. In Marvo recently, we've just there's some new product launches even coming through on Marvo as well. So there's a lot that people can see. And Logix is the biggest example yet. It's potentially the biggest sort of game changer for us in terms of our sort of system build business. Target's been building systems for over 20 years. I think the build quality is accepted to be very, very high. If you compare it to a big branded unit, it's far superior and at a crazy differential price as well. For those, because there's some customers on here that we do build for. And I think that they keep coming back, which is the sort of the testament to itself. But if I was an independent retailer setting up my own store, where I would use Target to differentiate myself, would be through those exclusive brands.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Have we got any more in the chat? So, Welshie Tech saying that the price of Pixel is excellent.
It is good value for money.
I mean, we increased the warranty on Pixel to 3 years just because the return rate's so low that we could, and it just made it a more competitive product. We offer 3-year warranty on every Logix item that we build. So we've just sent out our 500th Logix units, and the current return rate is nil.
Okay, sounds pretty good. You'll have to send us one. I'll find a way to send it back. Only kidding. There we go.
He just doesn't accept them, Phil. He blocks them at the door. That's why he's telling me it's 0.
That's it.
We have reviewed Pixel monitors, and we continue to do so. And I will say they have evolved from the first few that we were sent, and the feedback that we gave and everything. It seemed like was listened to, and they have evolved a lot, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they have, and I must admit, the ones we've looked at, the first ones we looked at, there was 1 or 2 issues, but as time's gone by, you brought the new ones over, they've listened to the feedback, they've evolved them. I think 1 or 2 had a few issues where the screen protector was underneath the bezel and stuff like that, which they've listened to, and so forth. And you must have been doing them a few years now, was it? About 4 years, is it?
We started reviewing them when we were still in the shop.
Yeah, so it must be about 3-4 years, but yeah.
I mean, I think we're on to about 75,000 units of Pixel that have been sold. In my time in Target, we had 1 dodgy batch of 22 inches, and God did we know about it. But other than that, the return rates are freakishly low. We work with some really good quality partners. Our QC work is really, really diligent. It's a product that I'm certainly happy to sell.
That sounds pretty good. I think that there was a bit of commission then for that 75,000 they've sold, all down to all the videos we've published about all these Pixel monitors.
There's you and a lot of other people.
So let's have a look. What advice would you give to new visitors attending the open day for the first time, or the first time they've come to a trade show, basically? What advice would you give someone?
Make new friends. I think it's been said in the comments earlier that one of the biggest benefits that it offers is an opportunity to meet like-minded people. And whilst you've got maybe you put 10 retail store owners in the same room and ask them what's the one thing you would do to grow your business. And there are some examples. I mean, Ken at Canny Clever is an innovator. He's a brilliant businessman.
He's a encyclopedia of business.
And I mean, I talked to Ken, and I get ideas for how Target can be better by speaking to Ken. I spoke to Will at Build IT a couple of weeks ago, shared some ideas. Hopefully he got some benefit from it. I certainly do when I think about things that Target needs to sort of do me better at. So my number one advice would be, come and go and speak to people. And the thing I would say is, I mean, most of the Target team will be wearing our obviously Kiss the Badge. Most of but just come and find one of us and introduce yourselves and say, look, I'm new. It's my first event. I don't use Target much. I don't know anybody. What you can recommend? If you go for Scott, to be fair, because he's the nicest person we have. And then Scott can introduce you around and say, well, actually, I'm really interested in this brand or this range. And there's just, I think that we're lucky. We're in a massive sector. I have quite a lot of views on the IT industry as a whole, but the community in which Tech for Techs is and the community that Target plays primarily in, it's a great group of people, you know. And we had a great time at TechMax. I think that everybody that comes to our event will find the same kind of thing. Target is a good group of people. We exist to help people, and just come and engage and make friends. And if you're nervous, speak to Scott. He's lovely.
Yeah, well, basically any of the Target team are very approachable people. Scott, Corey, Sean, Michael, Victoria, Vicky, just to name a few of the ones that I have off the top of my head right now. Everybody seems to want to help you. There's Jill in customer services, and
Ian and
Ian,
Dan and
Ian,
Trish and yeah, there's loads of them.
Ian is if Ian is there, that's the party in itself.
That's it.
Ian and I go way back on the party at open day.
But it's great because you've just named people from about 6 different departments there.
Yeah,
And you know all of them, and I think that's what makes Target like that community.
I
that it
have
is.
called up and specifically asked for Ian when I needed to return my product, which was next to never. But I knew who I needed, and he would walk me through the process and everything, and just.
He didn't even mention our Dan.
Oh, Dan.
No, everyone knows about Dan.
Dan's the man.
Dan, the winning team. Dan.
We've already mentioned Dan earlier drinking Guinness anyway, so
He's my competition at the bar.
yeah. I bet you he's at the pub now having a Guinness, knowing Dan is probably watching this live.
No, he'll be at work, Phil. He'll be working.
From all the distributors that we deal with, okay, we try not to be biased or anything, but we do find that with the amount of people or the people we know within Target is a lot more vast than any of the other distributors we actually work with.
And
so
I think
we
that's
tend to know
a lot because it's not a lot of turnover. You see a lot of people coming and going at other places, and you guys seem to kind of stick to Target, which says a lot about Target in itself, that they must enjoy their jobs and that they're passionate about their jobs, that they stick around for as long as they do.
I think that time for my shameless plug, but for those that don't know, Target's an employee-owned business. So 75% of Target is owned by the employee trust. So when we're kind of all in it together. So we share a percentage of our profits at the end of the year. So we spend the money like it's our own, and we behave in a certain way. And I mean, Lynn, our credit controller, is probably one of the best customer service advocates that we have.
I know her.
Yeah, she's sort of the first, and she's the one that asks for the money. And she's a phenomenal advocate of Target in the way in which she engages with customers. The customer service starts with her. Mark just said in the chat, we've got a brilliant customer services team, and he's right. Jill and Ian and Vicky are tremendous. But the service starts way before then. I mean, if you're lucky enough to get in touch with a Dan or a Scott, they're fantastic advocates of the brand. Sean's just fantastic. Trish, I mean, I won't do the whole company, but
your Vicky deserves an award for customer service, and I'll tell you why. I was having a day of it. I couldn't log into my Target account, and Scott had already told me how to redo my password and everything about 2 or 3 times. Still wouldn't work for me, and I was at the end of my rope when I called. I mean, I was about to go up through the ceiling, and Vicky says, "Well, let's just sit here and see what we can do." And she had me to read out the password that I was trying. She says, let's take this character out. I think that might be the problem. And let's replace it with another character, like an exclamation point or something. I can't remember what it was. And she says, try that, Jenny, and let me know while I'm on the phone if you can log in. And then log out and try and do it again, see if you can reproduce the error. Do you know that little angel fixed my problem right there, calmed me down. I was like, oh, hallelujah. And it had been going on, this not being able to log into my Target account for a while, and I was getting frustrated. But she calmed me right down. She resolved the situation, and she never once got excited. She just angel.
You know what the problem was, weren't it? You putting rude emojis in for the password.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what it was. The Target website didn't even improve it. So, right, let's go through the chat because we've got a few more bits coming. So let's have a look. So Richard Creed is asking, do you have smaller badges for the Logix PCs?
No, I know what this is about. Not yet, Richard. So this is the brand badges on the side of the PCs that Logix have.
Yeah.
So no, they are one size at the minute. Obviously, the the closer we get to having different sizes of PCs available and that kind of stuff. At the moment, we're very, very aware that we've got a big branding exercise to do at the moment, and if we're going to go up against the people we do want to go up against. So yes, I'm sorry, the stickers might be a bit bigger than you want at the moment. If we could put them somewhere else, we will do. But yeah, sorry.
That's brilliant. Right, guys, we're going to be tying up the show soon. So if you've got any last-minute questions, send them in. We'll ask them. And as long as Michael and Scott are okay carrying on for a few minutes, we'll keep going. Are you guys okay for now? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's have a look. Ian saying, I think the monitors are good value and a good product. So that's good. Ryan B says, what markup do you recommend on Pixel and Logix? Do they compete with the bigger brands?
Markup and margins are a really interesting one. I've seen examples where people have made significant markups and still been very, very price competitive. I think in terms of quality, it does compete in terms of reliability, but clearly we know that Pixel doesn't necessarily have the brand reputation against someone like a Yama, for example, who Target also now distributes. When we launch brands into the range, we sort of look very simple terms. You sort of have sort of a good, a better, and a best offering in our monitor ranges for the brands that we work with. Pixel's very much the kind of good. There's elements of the range that take you up into the better, and then you've got new like sort of ViewSonic and AOC, and then as you get up to into sort of a Yama at sort of the best, and that's how we sort of plan out our categories and offer something for everything kind of in the market. Ryan, if that's the same, Ryan, as it is from Elford, then maybe we have a chat tomorrow and we can pick up on some percentages. But with Logix in particular, I mean, we've done some pricing work against one of the big brands, and it's significantly cheaper. We work with some customers in the fire and security industry, and the margins and markups that they can afford to make are quite significant in their industry. I don't know if you wanted a percentage there. Maybe I've copped out there, haven't I?
Don't worry. I think one of the things I'll talk it up for you is as well, if you're reselling stuff like the Pixel as well as Logix and any other sort of own distributor brands, is you're not having to compete with online stores generally, because I'm pretty sure Target, at least they didn't sell directly to Amazon or anything like that. So you're not having customers coming in, I can find on Amazon for like 20, 30 quid less or whatever. You can pretty much set your own price. So it's usually a good.
I was about to suggest 20%.
Do you know what? If I on Pixel, I wouldn't go any lower. I think you can put more on, but that would be my minimum. On Logix, I'd go higher.
Yeah. And with stuff like that, sell it as a service as well. We always say sell stuff as a service. Chuck in security, chuck in home setup, online backup, make sure it's on a yearly or monthly renewal so they automatically build using something like Go Cardless. And then, you might only make a couple £100 off your PC or 50 quid off the monitor or whatever it is, but then you've got a reoccurring income coming in every month, every year from the security, online backup or whatever it may be, office programs and stuff like that. So,
and then every year they'll bring it in for the service.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was going to say, sorry, the Pixel and Logix particularly, it depends who you're selling it to, because different customers have different requirements.
Mm-hmm.
You might have if you're selling a 34-inch ultra-wide Pixel monitor to somebody at home, it's probably going to be more price and feature driven. But if you're selling into a business where they want as little hassle as possible, having a 3-year warranty on a Pixel monitor versus a 2-year warranty on a different brand, even if there's a slight price difference, is a big factor, because it means they get 50% extra life out of their monitor than they would do on another brand. And they don't have to worry about buying a load more later on. They can leave it for another year.
Okay. Sounds pretty good. Right, let's fly through the chat again. So we're already about 10 minutes behind again on the chat. So let's have a look. So Logic range customizable. Can you change any specs on them?
Yeah, I mean, there's a standard offering of Logix units which Corey's put into there, which will be obviously available through the website. There are some specific units. For example, there are units specifically built for supporting multi-output CCTV systems or integrated access control systems. standard i5s, i7s. But the beauty of the way in which we build is everything's customizable. And what we found with some of the new customers we work with is they come for the standard and then say, actually, but I also want it to be able to do this. And then what Corey and the team are brilliant at is being able to, in some cases, actually take the spec down. And actually save them some money on potentially if they've gone for sort of too big a card, tends to be the normal one. So everything kind of is, yes, everything's kind of customizable. I think Corey in particular would pride himself on his ability to find the right solution to meet your needs. So short answer, yes, follow up, get in touch.
Okay, pretty good. Welsh Tech saying that he's replaced his AOC monitor with a Pixel, so that's good. Ian Harden saying, who is the screen OEM, as in who's the panel actually made by in the screen?
We have 2 factories that we work with, Ian, and we always choose to work with 2 factories for on the exclusive brands that we work with. I don't know if I want to give the name away, but there's 2 great partners that we work with.
Okay. If you want more information on that, Ian, you'll have to chase him up. So
come to the open day and buy me a beer.
There we go.
About midnight, you'll find out the answer, I reckon.
That's it. Let's have a look. Just having to skip a few. Let's Gadjo saying that Corey is an elusive mad scientist type that has crazy eye. Okay, yeah. So Corey just does crazy stuff, basically. Yeah.
Corey, I'll give him this. He is one of the most knowledgeable PC people I've ever come across. He's a real asset to you guys.
Oh, yeah.
When he did the PC Builder, oh gosh, that was a godsend to me when we had the store. No longer did I have to research compatibility and things like that. That took half a day and then report back to the customer, well, this won't work, blah, blah, blah. He condensed 2 or 3 days of researching compatibility and quotes down into about 2 minutes.
Yeah. So the thing when you're building stuff yourself, when you didn't have much information, especially 10 years plus ago, it's like you'll order something and it's like, oh yeah, this should be compatible and everything, and then you find it doesn't have 2 headers on it for the USB and the card reader or something, and it's like, oh, you've got to go out and buy an extra card to stick in there and stuff, but it fixes all that. So
Phil always knew when there was a compatibility issue when I was building, because he'd come in and he'd say, hi, and I'd just look at him and stare, and he'd be like, oh God, what's not working?
That's it. You don't have to worry about any of that if they're doing it, and if there's an issue with any of the parts, they'll sort it out their end. So let's have a look. So we've got Mark saying target customer service are always spot on. We've got Elford saying, if you want to push the Logix brand, will they be available for custom builds?
Yes.
If you can't see that, they're nodding their heads. Yep, no, there we go. Dan said it was noted. I'm not sure what it was about. It's probably about the Guinness or something, knowing him.
I think it was you not mentioning his name as the great people at Target, putting him in tier 2.
Oh, right. Okay.
He's sensitive as our Dan, isn't he?
Well, all I'll just say is I was a bit confused where he was working at the moment. So.
Yeah, that was
slow, Phil.
So, right, okay. Gadget Joe says this is more to do influencer-wise, but Target a major part of me a part of being responsible for getting his channel back on track to where it is. Fantastic team, love you all to bits. That's as soppy as you're going to get from me now, though, until the 20th when you've had a few pints. Feeling Gadget Joe. So let's have a look. Welsh Techs saying met a lot of you guys at TechMax. You were very friendly and made me feel at home. Yeah, definitely a good bunch of guys. There's not many distributors where you can go and see them. And one of the staff members bakes you some cakes. Hint, 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 hint.
Yeah. I never did get to go over for the cheese scones, though.
Oh, last week, Jenny.
Oh, you missed out, honestly.
This week, actually.
Yeah. They were really nice, weren't they, Michael?
Lovely.
I love mine.
I was told sausage rolls were on the table. I tell you what, I think I'm just going to go to work for Target so I can.
I was going to say, we get this every day.
Yeah.
You guys don't appreciate it.
He said the standard.
There's a reason why Sean has been there for so long, and it's not his ability to sell products. It's
It is
baking.
though.
That's all it is.
You call up Sean, and he will do anything in the world to help you. He's one of those people. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and he's really good to you. Can you put this on hold for me, Sean? Yeah, sure. Can you call me when this comes in stock, Sean? Sure. No problem.
There we go. Right, so I think we're pretty much at the end of the questions. Sorry if I've missed anyone. The last one is Gadget Joe saying he'll be driving home, so he'll be on Cokes. He'll be buying a few beers for a few people. Question on that. Do you have to buy beers, or is there going to be some sort of bar which doesn't require money?
So there will be a bar that doesn't require money for some of the night anyway. So yes, everybody who's attending, there's two opportunities really. In the evening, you'll all get some drinks tokens to use behind the bar. But very kindly, Kingston, as our headline sponsor, they've also they'll be hosting a kind of networking event between the exhibition and the evening, which is really just a way of getting everybody together, all the exhibitors, everybody attending, all the Target staff. We'll get to have a nice relax for an hour or so before all the effort of the evening singing starts.
Okay.
So, but Kingston are going to be providing you with a free drink as well.
So basically, get a hotel if you can.
I went up to this was last year. I went to open day, and someone had fallen asleep on the settee right outside the bar. They never made it up to their room.
Oh, the next morning,
Yeah,
they
the
were
next morning they were camped out there, and you knew it was open day. You knew that they were left from open day. They had that open day hangover look about them.
You can't hold us responsible for that, Jenny. People are grown-ups; they can look after themselves.
I don't know. I've seen a few people over the years, but there we go.
I know some stories, I can tell you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to go too far, I'll get in trouble, but there we go. Right, I think we're pretty much at the end of the show, guys. It looks like most of the questions have all come in, other than people trying to say thank you, and Sean's always happy to help, and blah, 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 thank you, and so forth. So, Michael, Scott, your last chance to plug Open Day, or at least on this show anyway. So, your last chance, what have you got to say? Why should people come? Why should they not stay at home?
Go on, Michael. I think you should round this off.
I think if I was an independent reseller and I wanted to come to the event, I think this is a great investment of my time into my business. And I will challenge anyone. If somebody goes to our event and doesn't find an idea or a product or a brand or a category or solution or something that can't help them to grow their business, then I will return your money myself.
Okay.
It's not that generous enough.
What? Even though it's free to get in anyway.
Yeah. I'll buy them a beer.
At the free bar, okay.
At the free bar. Yeah. Look, I just think. Look, there's a fantastic exhibition with some great brands, some new products, some new ranges. All of the Target product management team will be there. They'll be able to talk to you about ranging and products and SKUs. There are workshops there where you can access talks and conversations with people that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get a hold of. The focus is on how we can help you to grow your business, or perversely in one conversation to potentially exit it. The networking's fun, the bar's open, the Target team's lovely, and everyone's going to have a good time. There are worse ways to spend a Friday in September. That's
brilliant there. Right then, it looks like it's the end of the show. And Gadget Joe has just mentioned something I was going to say anyway. Yeah, this is actually the last Thursday show we're going to be doing. We're going to be moving to Mondays. From October, we'll be relaunching the show in October, and we're going to be doing it Mondays at 8 p.m. Anyone who watched the intro might have actually heard it said Mondays at 8. Again, this is a trial because mainly, obviously, we've surveyed people and we've done things in the group, and everyone's saying, I think it was something like 70% of people said Monday was the best day for them. So, where obviously will give us more options and choices of different people to get on the show as well if more people are available. So we're going to give that a go. We'll see how it is, and if it's successful till Christmas, then we'll carry it on Mondays. If not, well, there's always Thursdays. We can always move back. But otherwise, hopefully we'll see you all at the Target Open Day. I'll be there myself. Obviously, Jen's not going to be able to make it this year, but I'll be there. So feel free to get me a Coke. Unfortunately, I've got to drive back, but at the bar, but I'll stay there as long as I can. But it'd be interesting. But if you haven't been to an event before, whether it's the Tech Max or an Open Day by Target or anything from any other distributor, and you want to make it a first time to go, I can't think of any other event better to go to for your first time because all the staff are very friendly, easy to get along with. There's free beer in the evening. I think lunch is included as well, if I remember right. Yeah.
Who cares about lunch when you got a free bar?
Well, yeah, they need something to be able so they can drink a bit more later.
Carbohydrates.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of reasons to go. Networking is always the biggest thing for me. Networking sometimes sounds a little bit too professional. Basically, you get to talk to other people like yourself. You can network or talk to people like you who do the same thing as you. You can learn from them. Some of them have been in the industry for many, many years. Some of them 20, 30 years. So if you're just starting out, you'll be able to learn lots of different things from them. Just think of it like the Tech for Tech's group on steroids, but without any illegal drugs taken at the event.
That's not enough of film. I can't confirm.
It's all there compressed into one day, basically. And obviously,
most of the Tech for Tech members are going to be there.
Exactly.
A lot of them will be.
And there we go. And Scott's getting ready for bed, I think. Turn the lights out again.
Yes.
He's in one of those rooms that they was talking about.
That's it. Oh, yeah. And Gadget Joe's going to be singing, so we've got to all...
I'm looking forward to that.
Watch that. Yeah. So, right, guys. So that's it for now. Tonight, everyone. Thanks again for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you again, obviously, Michael and Scott, for joining us on the show. It's always good to have a chat with you guys, and no doubt you'll be on again sooner than later. And as I've already said, shows will be restarting again after what we class as the summer break in October. So beginning of October, we'll start up with the new shows, basically, or a relaunch of the shows. Right.
On Mondays at 8 p.m.
Yeah, Mondays, not Thursdays, Mondays. But we'll post about it a bit closer to the time. Yeah. Anyway, this show was brought to you by ISL Online. Thank you for sponsoring the show, ISL. And we'll see you all next time. Thanks again, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Online, you can access and control any distant computer or mobile device.